standing your truth. Every voice matters, yeah, we see you. Love who you are, let the world know. This is your moment, let your light glow. More than a story, more than a name. We break the silence, rewrite the frame. Autism, neurodivergence, every mind shines bright. Mental health, self-love, stepping into the light. For the parents, the dreamers, the ones who push through. Auesomely You, we celebrate you. Auesomely You, we rise, we shine. Vowing voices, breaking the lines. This ain't just a podcast, this is a move. Celebrating every story, making room. For the ones who speak in ways they don't understand. For the hearts that love big, for the ones who take a stand. For the ones who see the world in a different way. We amplify your voice, let the world hear what you say. Every challenge, every win, every step you take. You are seen, you are loved, this is your space. No more silence, no more fear. Auesomely You, we're standing here. We are the voices, we are the change.
Hey, you guys, welcome to Auesomely You Podcast. I am so excited to have you guys here. This is the exact first episode with my first guest, you guys, and I can't tell you how excited I am. So before I get into this episode, first, thank you guys for supporting everything I'm doing when it comes to autism, because this has been a moment. I took a break for a year, and God has made it clear for me to come back and be very focused and walk in my purpose. So without further ado, let me introduce our guest, Miss Mary Ann. She is a mom of sons with autism spectrum and now a leader in the field of special needs divorce. She started a special family transition after her own divorce. And I want to stop right there. Do you guys know when you have a special needs child, the divorce rate is a little bit higher versus having a neurotypical kid? Alrighty, so let's get back to it. Navigating the overwhelming complexities, divorce, including with a child with a disability. Without further ado, you guys, I want to introduce Miss Mary Ann. Miss Mary Ann Hughes. I just like saying the word Mary Ann.
Yeah, hi, Crystal. I'm so excited to be your first guest on your new show.
I'm so excited. I used to have another platform, and I took a break, and I eventually one day I'm going to bring it back, but God made it clear for me to come back in this capacity and to focus on this topic and this industry, because we need a voice more versus us talking about every other topic. Is important, but autism and all disabilities and mental health are super important.
For sure. That's my life, dealing with autism and now helping other people with all kinds of disabilities as well in terms of challenges that they face. They're different relationships and dynamics.
So I want to just hop right into it. I want you to start off by telling us your story. And I also want to get into some facts when it comes to divorce, when dealing with having special needs kids.
Sounds great. So my story is that I'm the mom of two now young adults on the spectrum, and my kids got diagnosed when they were about 2 years old, being a first-time mom. Didn't really know what to expect, and it took me a while to get my first son's diagnosis, and then I had my second son, and turned out he was also on the spectrum, much different abilities though, so that was kind of a surprise that he was also facing some challenges. But they both made tremendous progress over the years, and one who has more challenges is in the day program. He's aged out of public school, and so now he's in a day program. And my other son, he's able to go to a university program for students with learning differences, so really proud of him. And so my main story, I guess, in terms of where my path led me, is that several years ago, I was faced with an unexpected divorce. And other than dealing with the emotion of it, of course, which is hard for any kind of divorce, I made my focus in terms of what can I do to help my kids through the process so that they could get through it without a lot of issues, a lot of trauma, and knowing that their parents love them, but also planning for their future. So a lot of times divorce can be seen as getting through it quickly and then worrying about the future later. I took a different approach. My approach was to plan for what they needed now and also what they would do in the future. So, in effect, a life care plan. And so, my ex at the time said, "This is a divorce, not a life care plan." But in my case, it was. And he used to say, I always had to have a project. Well, this was my project to make sure that my kids were going to get the best outcome possible after divorce. And so I wouldn't have to worry about their future. Because as a mom of autistic kids and whatever disability your kids might have, we worry about the future. We worry about what's going to happen to them now, how they can get through and get the skills they need and be successful in school, but also beyond what's going to happen when they're adults. Where are they going to get support? Are they going to be able to work? Where are we going to find a program for them? And what's going to happen when we're gone? So these are the kind of questions that that everybody has when they have a child with different challenges. And so I ended up getting a great result for my family in my divorce, but it wasn't easy to get there. I had to find experts who knew had the information that could help me advocate for my kids. Because as a mom, we're there advocating for our kids in school and everything else in life. And divorce is no different. We have to advocate for what they need, especially when both parties, maybe both parents, see things differently. And so finally did get through it, got a great result. But I decided to take my knowledge that I gained, because like you said earlier, this is a very high rate of divorce for families who have a special needs child and go through divorce. And I thought, why should everybody have to recreate the wheel and go through all the trouble I went to get information? It was really hard to get that information and find people who knew information or have access to that. And so I decided at that point to create my own company, which I'd never done before. I had business background before I had kids, but then I was a stay-home mom for 20 years. So this was something new for me, something that was a little bit scary, but I started my own business and had my website go live literally the day my divorce decree was signed. And so I went through lots of trainings to be able to use not just my personal experience, but also professional experience and learn from more experts to be able to help more people in lots of different ways. And so now honored to be a certified special needs divorce coach. And most of my work is working with parents, usually the moms, but sometimes the dads. And I've also taken other trainings like mediation training, parenting coordinator, and so on, so that I can maybe help both parents together do what's right for the child and put the child's needs first in the process, so they don't have to go through a lengthy divorce process.
I'm happy that you step into that space because I'm not married. I'm an unmarried woman, as most would say. But me having a special needs kid, I am aware that it's harder for us to date. It's harder when you are in a marriage. Now, the stats are very, very sad. It mostly in a divorce, even relationships. So I'm happy you are in that space, because now you can help other women or men who have a special needs kid and they don't know anything and they need someone to vent to, who need help with resources. Everything you said is so valuable within our community, and it's overlooked. Of course, we have ABA companies, we have speech and OT, but what about the women and the men that are going through divorces because their kid was born amazing? So
Right. And so it's something that we don't plan for. And some people step up to their responsibilities and accept the child for who they are and try to do the best that they can for that child. Sadly, there's a lot of people who, for whatever reason, get stuck in different phases of the grief cycle, including denial. They never get past the challenge of having a child with a disability. It's hard for them to accept that. It's hard for them to move on and fully embrace that and do what's right for that child. And so that happens anytime, whether you get a diagnosis or whether you're dealing with other challenges in life. Change is hard, and things that we didn't plan for a future or envision then end up being reality. Sometimes people have a hard time with that, but I'm here to help people through that and help them in case, like, say, their spouse is not on the same page with them, how to share information. So try to get them to see maybe the challenges that one parent faces, maybe more the caregiving parent, or one who maybe takes the child to therapy or deal with the behavior issues at home, whereas the other parent may not see that side of them. Maybe they see them when they're masking, maybe they see them after work, if that's their situation at home, and they're not seeing all the challenges that are there every day that cause a lot of burnout for the one parent who is spending more time. And so the goal is to get both parents involved, both parents to do what's right for the child. It could, it also could take different ways, different roles that they may take. So some people are both active in taking care of the child, but for some people, because of the way it's been in the past, maybe one parent's more comfortable bringing in more financial resources, and the other parent may be more comfortable and have the experience to take care of the day-to-day. But given even past that, we have to have both parents involved and know how to take care of that child when it's their time to take care of that child. For instance, even if a child is with one of the parents over a weekend, maybe not every day or during the weekdays, for instance, we still have to feel comfortable that that child is safe and that that parent knows how to address different behaviors, that they're comfortable, so that they're more willing to have the child and have a productive and positive experience. We don't want a situation where one parent just says it's too much work, I don't know what to do, and then sadly a lot of parents sometimes are not in the picture. But we want them hopefully both to be in the picture, to remain active parents.
I think sometimes that's hard, because if you have one parent that imagine this life for the child, and this parent is accepting it, this parent is fighting it, I think that's the disconnect. I think sometimes as parents, I can use me as an example. I remember when my son they stated he may have autism. I didn't understand what it was, but my son's father was like, just pray about it. And I was like, well, he's not talking, he's not hitting milestones, got to figure it out. And when he was diagnosed, it took me 2 days. If anybody listen to my story, it took me 2 days to accept it. And I hit the ground running. Versus it took my son's dad a little bit longer to accept it. And me seeing the difference in a disconnect, I feel like is that the same thing when you're married as well? One person's getting it and one isn't?
Yeah. It doesn't matter whether you're married or not. Those dynamics are universal. And so to say that for you to have accepted it fully in 2 days, that's incredible. Because
no, me, not him.
No, for you. I mean, I know myself. It took a long time to understand, and like you said, you have to research. You have to understand what is autism. What can we do to help that child? And so that becomes the goal. Is once you get to the acceptance phase, after going through denial and anger and depression,
I went through denial.
You go through all those things, and those are normal. Those are normal things. Mm-hmm. We just don't want to be stuck in one phase and not be able to move on and help our child. That's the key. Is how can we best we can, say, okay, this is my child. I love them, and they're still wonderful, but maybe I have to do some extra things to help them along the way to be the best that they can be, that they're destined to be. And so, I mean, we can go through these phases over and over. So for instance, we may accept the diagnosis and come to terms with it when they're young, but maybe when they're older, we see something that kind of throws us for a loop, or we compare them to other kids their age, or we see things as of entering high school, things that they'll never be able to do. So we go through this cycle maybe several times in life. And so it's not like one time we're just not going to be upset or sad because of our challenges that we face and that our child may not be able to do things. But it's how do we handle ourselves and how do we believe in ourselves that we can help our child? That's the main thing.
My next question is, if somebody is going through a divorce right now, what is 5 tips you can give another mom or dad who have a special needs kid that can help them?
Yeah, so for one, I would say don't rush into anything and make an agreement just to be done. This is, like I said, something that takes some planning and some foresight and some thought to say, okay, what are my child's needs now and what might they be in the future, so that you're not leaving anything, you don't have to go back years later and renegotiate and go back through a legal process. You want to make sure that you understand maybe what the laws are in your state. For instance, in some states, you can have lifelong child support. In some states, maybe it looks different, but maybe other ages, and know that also it could be above guideline child support. So it may not be the minimum that other people may be getting in your state. It could be maybe based on the child's needs. So that's why you have to step back and say, okay, what is it costing me? What does it cost to take these therapies and have special diets and whatever that child needs to thrive? And think about what it might cost in the future, and kind of use that those numbers when you're trying to negotiate child support, or how both parents are going to contribute in the future. The third one I would say is work with experts who have been through this and understand what it takes to be successful, to advocate for yourself as a parent and for your child to get the best result possible. There's a lot of things out there that need to be done correctly, or else your child may not be eligible or lose eligibility for some government benefits. For instance, for those listening in the US, we have SSI and different government waiver programs. But if you have over a certain amount of funds in your child's name, then you won't get those anymore, or they'll take the monies back. So we want to do things in a way and have child support set up in a way that's not going to count against that child. And people like special, if you're going to find an attorney, then make sure it's one that has experience in that. There's special needs planning attorneys, estate planning attorneys, there's special needs financial planners, and like myself, divorce coaches are going to help guide you along the way as to things to think about and consider as you're doing that. Then fourth is don't forget yourself. Sometimes as special needs mom, I know I was guilty of this before and sometimes still am, is we forget about ourselves and our self-care, and that we're important too. And so I learned through my divorce, not taking care of myself and putting everybody else first didn't work. It left me in a position where it wasn't the right thing to do, and I needed to refill my cup, as they say. So you can't pour from an empty cup. So especially during divorce, you have to be at your best. You have to take care of yourself so you can make good decisions in your divorce, and to be there to take care of your kids. So take a few minutes each day, whatever it might look like for you, to just have some downtime, quiet time, exercise, whatever it is for you to have self-care. For me, it's just having my cup of coffee. Sometimes today, I got a manicure, which I never ever do, but my kids are out with their dad and I had extra time. And so I decided to treat myself to that. But whatever is for you, just know that you're important. And if you're burnt out, you can't take care of your child. So, get sitters, get some respite, to get some downtime, especially if the other parent is not taking care of the child. We can't be on the clock 100% of the time, 24 hours a day. And then for the fifth one, I would say, don't look at divorce as an end. Look at it as a new beginning. Some people just get so wrapped up in divorce being the end of their life, or thinking that they're going to be in a situation that's going to be terrible for the kids. Today, somebody sent me a note about, my child now is going to be from a broken home. But we don't want to look at it that way. We want to provide opportunities for that child to have two homes. Instead of having a broken home, now you have two homes. You have two parents, hopefully, that still want to spend time with you and can do things with you to help that child be the best they can be in their own way. And each parent has different ways of parenting, perhaps, and different strengths that they have. But we want to look to the future and plan for that child and plan for ourselves as to what we can be. Look at myself. I could have been down the dumps, but instead I turned it around and I'm helping other people. So what can you do through this experience to help yourself, help your child, and help others too?
I love that you said that. What can you do to help yourself and help others too? And I also want to go back to, I think it was tip number 4 or 3 about the self-care. When you are a special needs mom, you do forget yourself, and it's so important. Like, I don't think we realize how important it is to take care of yourself, but when you're a special needs mom, it's more important because we have to find a little bit of time in the day before our day get more crazy to just find a little hope in ourselves and take better care of ourselves, because our kids need us, from our fitness journeys, from what we eat, everything. It matters. So I'm going to hop into another segment to hop off your story a little bit. This question is going to be, what do you do for self-care? Because I feel like as you walked into that segment, you didn't realize it. I feel like as special needs moms, we always forget who we are. And I love that you brought it up, because that's part of our mental health. Mental health for me is fitness, is me going walking, which I have not been doing lately, but I need us to get back into. But what is your fitness journey, or what is your self-love journey looking like today?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So I'll say fitness was never my strong suit, a strong point. There was a time when I was younger where I was going to exercise class, I was eating healthy and doing all the things. And then got married, had kids, taking care of my kids, and we kind of maybe don't focus on that as much. And so over time, part of it is stress related, eating too, because we don't know how to deal with it, maybe all the pressures around us, is I did put on some weight. I did become out of shape. I stopped exercising. And so there were times where I tried to eat healthy again and do some more things and join a health club, but it's easy to slide back from that. But when I got separated, when that happened, then I kind of had to find my motivation again. And so I started eating healthier. I started going back and working out and progressing on my journey. And I made a lot of progress. Granted, over time, I kind of slid back. And so now I'm proud to say that I've just recently, this last couple of weeks, started a new regimen where I'm back at the club or walking. I didn't go to the club today, but I did take a walk around the neighborhood park. And sometimes I walk with my kids, and sometimes may do things with friends. So it doesn't have to be even just exercise and diet. It could be just making time to hang out with people, with your other loved ones, with relatives, with friends, or people that are important to you, or do fun things. I went to a lot of special needs resource fairs that the school districts put on. I remember one couple came up to me and I asked them when was the last time that they went on a date. Their child was about 14. They're like, we've never been on a date. So self-care is not just you. It's also nurturing and caring for the relationship that you may be in if you're not divorced, or if you are divorced, then nurturing friendships that you might have. And that is a form of self-care. So this week, for instance, my kids are off school and they're with their dad on vacation. So I've got time to do extra things. And I'm trying to catch up on so many things. But I made a point. It's like, okay, I'm going to do these things that are going to fill me up and be good for me. So even though I had a huge to-do list, I haven't done all those things, but I did get some extra sleep. I did get some healthy, I was able to cook some things that I don't normally do. And I made I made a little lunch date with a neighbor of mine, a friend of mine. And so those things maybe I can't do every day because of our different demands on our time, but try to make time maybe at least once a week to do something special for yourself or with somebody, even if it's not just for yourself, and find ways to enjoy time with kids. Sometimes we get so wrapped up in the routine day to day that maybe taking a break with the kids is another form of self-care. It gets everybody out of routine. And my kids sometimes are do better when they're outside the home than we're in the home in the routine to get out of that.
But I love that you intentionally made time for yourself. You intentionally made sure you made time for your neighbor. You intentionally are checking things off your to-do list. I am a spreadsheet girly, and I be checking things off. And I no longer beat myself up when I don't complete everything. So I'm challenging you not to beat yourself up for everything you don't complete this week, because you did so much, and you got to do one thing that's really important, and that's rest.
I did, and not usually get that because you're on the go. My son stays up late. I have to get up early the next day, and you're in a cycle, and you're maybe not getting as much sleep as you need to. And so this is an opportunity today to catch up. And so, yeah, so give yourself grace for sure. And so I've learned recently about trying to time block, about maybe having a top priority for the day that you get done. Like you said, we can't get everything done that we need to get done, and we don't want to get overwhelmed our to-do list, which can be huge and long and kind of scary. But just know, okay, what's the one thing I'm going to get done today, and do that. And then if you get extra things done, then that's great.
Yes, time blocking is amazing. I purposely work on certain things. Like, okay, I'm gonna do this at this time, and I'm gonna stop. And then me having structure for me personally works. That's before I realized I was autistic myself. But I'm not good with last minute things. I get overwhelmed, overstimulated. But the amazing thing is having that to do list, like you said, and giving myself grace. That's like the best thing. My next question is, what does celebrating uniqueness mean to you, and how have it shaped your life?
Yeah, so my kids are unique in their own way. And so granted, no matter who you are, if you have kids or if you're one of many siblings, we're all different and no one's going to be the same. And we don't want to compare one to another. And so for instance, with my older son who has a lot of challenges, he's a whiz at puzzles. And so that's one of his unique skills and something that he enjoys. And luckily, I found this an activity he likes, so I can have some downtime when he's doing a puzzle that he likes. But that's something that he is likes to do, and he likes to hang out with the family, go on walks, things like that. My other son is unique in his own way. He enjoys looking at maps and directions and things having to do with transportation, and that's kind of his uniqueness. He's got a different personality. My first son has a cute sense of humor, but my other son, likes to be like the little helper. So he's unique in his way, and there's wonderful things also coming his way. For me, I'm also unique in my journey. I've lived in different places. I've gone through different experiences, and so I take all those things that I've done in my life. Some planned, some unplanned things happen to us, but now I've put those things together to be able to do what I do and help people. So my business degree, my divorce, my past work experience, helping my kids taking trainings when they were young, that all comes together to now to help me in my business and help others.
And I think that is amazing. Now we're about to hop into the next segment before we wrap up, because our time is running out. So this segment is a little fun, you guys. It's called Auesomely Fun, Keep It Real segment. So I'm going to give you, since you are an autism mom like me, I'm going to give you truth or trend. I'm going to name a popular phrase or belief in autism that people think maybe are true, and you're going to tell me if it's truth or trend. So my question for you is, does autism has a look?
It does not have a look. So, I know people get frustrated when their child may be acting out and somebody in public doesn't understand why that is. They think, why are their parent not disciplining them or what's wrong with that child, they scold or whatever. And when it's learned that they have a disability, that they have autism, they're like, well, they don't look autistic. They don't look like they have special needs. And so that's hard. And so part of the job is, well, I don't say the job, it's optional if you want to do that. We want to take that opportunity maybe to educate people about this is my child and they have certain challenges, whether it's sensory challenges, maybe it's too loud for them in here. Maybe what they're wearing is not comfortable. Maybe what they're feeling is not right. And just maybe they're hangry or whatever it might be. And they don't know how to handle that or express themselves because they don't have the words. And so, yeah, there is no look. There may be some looks for other disabilities. But autism definitely, it doesn't, you can't tell somebody has that just by looking at them for sure.
All right. It's time for the next one. I think you're going to do good at this one. You cannot overthink. It's rapid fire. It's this or that. So, hot wings or lemon pepper wings?
I like lemon pepper. I don't like things too spicy.
Comedy movie or a chick flick, romance movie?
I like both, but I would say comedy because sometimes we just need to relax, let loose, and just laughing is good for us. It kind of gets us off our troubles, and if we're smiling, we can't be sad.
So this is my next one. Since you're single like me, for the first date, movie date or dinner date?
I like dinner date because that way you can talk to somebody and get to know them. If you're watching a movie, then you're just looking at the screen. They don't get to know that person.
I agree with that. It is so. I want to do. If you ask me on a date and the first date you want to do is a movie, I'm like, why? Somebody recently did me like that, and I was like, no, I don't want to do that. They said, why? I said, why would I want to go on our first date to the movies? And they said,
you can do that by yourself or by some with your girlfriends or whatever. Exactly. Yeah.
I said, no, that's not my thing. Well, thank you so much. Yeah. So I agree with that. And that is it. And before we wrap up, it's one thing that I want every guest that come on Auesomely You Podcast to do. And it is, I'm trying to find it for you. I put on the screen for you. Give me 1 second. But I know it by heart, so let me just read it. But before we wrap up, I would love you to share affirmation that our listeners, our audience can take away from today's conversation. Something that would tell them to embrace their uniqueness. Like, what is one affirmation that you can make up or even or you live by?
Yeah, so a lot of people have a challenge with believing in themselves. And so I would say a phrase that's used recently, and there's a book by this name, is I am worthy. You're worthy. Sometimes we think we don't have the skills, we don't have the experience. We have what they call imposter syndrome, that we can't do something because maybe somebody can do it better than us. But know that we have the innate ability, we were given abilities, and we have to believe in ourselves. So I would say being worthy and believe that you're worthy is what I like to share and get people believe as well.
I love that you said that to end this amazing episode with saying I am worthy, because I feel that sometimes, not beyond us being special needs moms, sometimes us as moms, we forget that we are worthy. We are worthy of love. We're worthy of self-care. We are worthy of taking time for ourselves. We are worthy of going on trips by ourselves. We are worthy to just go buy ourselves an outfit and not feel guilty. So I love that affirmation that you end Auesomely You with, because that's the vision for the show. I know you were the first guest, but I want every guest to leave an affirmation for every listener to listen to, because affirmations helped me through a hard time. So that's the reason why I want to really put that into this platform, because affirmations are a lifesaver. Affirmations is reaffirming yourself. Affirmations is so much more than what people realize they are. So I'm a crybaby. If you don't know, I'm sensitive. I'm always crying, but people will get used to it. Um, and before we wrap up, can you please tell our audience how to find you, your website, your Instagram, like whatever you need. Like if you have a discount code or offer for the audience, please talk about it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So my website is www.specialfamilytransitions.com. And if you go on there, there's a contact form that you can send me a note and it'll come to my email. Also, on my social media is Special Family Transitions. So on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok as well. And I have a YouTube channel too where I share information and some, I have a playlist there, podcasts I've done, and this will be on there as well. About learning about different things about either divorce, but also about being a special needs mom and parenting. And I even have segments on there on post-high school programs and what to look for when your child gets older, some special programs that are out there for you. So I'm here to support people if they're getting divorced, either before, during, or after divorce, to help them in co-parenting. And I have a little mini course I put together. So happy to offer a discount code on that to your listeners. And we can put, I'll make a special one for you. I'll call it Crystal. And then they can have a discount code on that.
She said she's going to call it Crystal. It's going to be in the show notes, you guys. Every guest, all the information will always be in the show notes. I'm going to make sure the show notes are detailed for you guys can get as much as you need from every amazing guest that be on this platform. But thank you so much, Miss Mary Ann, for taking time to believe in me, taking time to be on this platform, and giving me a shot and being my first official guest.
No, it's my honor and my pleasure. You did a great job, and so fun being on the show with you, and I love all the great questions.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Till next time, you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also I want you guys to support every guest that come on this platform because we are one big community and we're going to keep being Auesomely You. Bye, you guys.
Story making room for the ones who speak in ways they don't understand, for the hearts that love big, for the ones who take a stand, for the ones who see the world in a different way. We amplify your voice, let the world hear what you say. Every challenge, every win, every step you take, you are seen, you are loved, this is your space. No more silence, no more fear, awesomely you, we're standing here. We are